because Jasmine Crockett was talking about the bench. Yeah, I've been on the bench my whole life. Well, call me in. I'm game. Welcome to Street Politics. My name is Reese Waters. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the page, and shout out to all of our members here on this channel. Well, y'all heard Melania.
The values that you work hard for what you want in life.
For what you want in life.
That your word is your bond.
That you do what you say you're going to do.
Keep your promise.
That you treat people
with
dignity and respect, because we want our children and all children in this nation to know that the only limit to the height of your achievements is the reach of your dreams and your willingness to work hard for them.
Sorry, not that one. The other clip.
Individual freedom is a fundamental principle that I safeguard. Without a doubt, there is no room for compromise when it comes to this essential right that all women possess from birth: individual freedom. What does my body, my choice really mean?
Had you spoken to President Trump about that before you wrote that in the book?
Yes, he knew my position and my beliefs since the day we met. And I believe in individual freedom. I want to decide what I want to do with my body. I think I don't want government in my personal business. I think it's very important.
Well, huh? Oh, Jen, you want to take this? All right, you got it.
Okay, I don't know about you, but I've watched that Melania Trump video many times. I have a lot of questions. I mean, one of which is, why is it black and white? What's going on with the whole setting there? I don't know. I can't answer that question. But here's my other big one. So now you're a proponent of abortion rights. Where have you been for 9 years before you were trying to sell a book? Like, for example, when your husband was naming 3 Supreme Court justices who were clearly going to overturn Roe v. Wade. Where have you been? Where were you when he's saying it goes back to the states? This is essentially an abortion ban, which is what's happening in a number of dozens of states across the country right now. Have you spoken with him about it? Have you expressed concern? Or is this about selling a book or something you were told to do? I don't know the answer to any of these questions, but my main big question is, why now? Maybe we know the answer, but there's a long time you could have been out there speaking out.
Now help me out here, Melania. Either you have been sitting in the back just gnashing your teeth at all of the rights being taken away from the women that you hold so dear, and you just couldn't take it anymore, and this is when it spilled out of you. You just couldn't be held back, and it's just a coincidence that you're selling a book. This is the moment that you decided that you just had to show your real life face. Either that, or that call came in and was like, we gotta put a face on this. We gotta put a face on, hey, how much it gonna cost to get Melania out here? Say something about abortion. No, because I got her Venmo right here. I got it. No, because I already sent one for her to come to the RNC. Either you sat in the back for years and allowed all of these rights to be taken away, and now you decide that you want to say something less than 30 days before the election while you're selling a book, or you are here to put a pretty face on the absolute degradation of women's rights like we haven't seen in half a century. Which one you want? Huh? Which door you taking, Melania? I mean, neither one looks particularly flattering for you. I'll be honest. Now, I will also say, I understand your circumstances, situation. I get that not all of your personal feelings will be reflected by your partner, and certainly not by your partner who is beholden to all of his donors and all of his backers and MAGA and all of these knuckleheads and the red hats and whatnot. I totally understand that. However, by virtue of you signing up for that, you get held responsible for being in consort with the man who's pushing through all of that legislation.
She didn't know what the hell to say.
Dems the brakes. You don't just get all those bags and all those vacations for nothing. It would kind of be like if you was just a brother out of New York with a fake Jamaican accent and felonies and an ex-wife that you had to extricate yourself from the marriage in order to step into a new life over here in Florida with these right-wingers that are going to uplift you, put some money in your pocket, get you a house. But what you have to speak ill of all the people from where you came from, and also make it harder for any of them to follow in your particular footsteps. I understand why you feel like you have to continue to push their policies because of what they have done for you personally. That also makes you extremely selfish and quite a sellout. That's just what it is. That is literally the definition of selfishness. Well, for one, Jasmine Crockett was not having it.
Does the Harris campaign welcome any support for abortion access wherever it comes from, even from the former First Lady?
I think that's actually been the really kind of scratch your head moment that we all are examining right now, really trying to figure out, are you guys trying to play good cop, bad cop, and trying to bring people in and to trust Donald Trump? Because obviously when we think about a spouse, we think about pillow talk. And so it's like, well, maybe he's going to be good on this issue. But let me tell you, there's one thing that I believe that the American people are better at, and that is being tricked or fooled. This is Donald Trump's Supreme Court that literally stripped us of our rights. And so considering the fact that he is the one that set us ablaze and set us on fire, I don't then anticipate that he's going to be the fireman to actually put this fire out. So listen, we don't have to trust what they say. We have to trust what they do. And what we know is that Donald Trump has bragged about the overturning of Roe.
That is absolutely right. You don't have to trust what he says. Look at what he does. But also, you can look at other things that he said.
I always thought women liked me.
And when you're a star, they let you do it. You can do anything. Whatever you want. Grab them by the...
I make this statement to the great women.
Questionable comments about a young girl.
You're going up the escalator? I'm going to be dating her in 10 years.
I am your protector.
Carol opening her testimony today saying, quote, "I'm here because Donald Trump to me."
I want to be your protector.
5 former Miss Teen USA contestants told BuzzFeed that Trump did in fact walk in on them while they were changing.
And so I sort of get away with things like that.
You will no longer be abandoned, lonely, or scared.
Donald held back Ivana's arms and began to pull out fistfuls of hair from her scalp.
You're not going to be in danger any longer.
I turned around and I see Donald standing there. I'm thinking, this son of a bitch just grabbed me.
Women will be happy, healthy, confident, and free.
Trump called Epstein a terrific guy, adding, "It is even said that he likes beautiful women as much as I do, and many of them are on the younger side."
You will no longer be thinking about abortion.
They're going to just let me bleed out here.
Do you believe in punishment for abortion? Yes or no, as a principle?
The answer is that there has to be some form of punishment.
For the woman?
Yeah.
You will be protected, and I will be your protector. Women. I was able to terminate Roe V Wade. I got rid of Roe V Wade.
Oh, he's a protector, all right, of the patriarchy and apparently all things 1980s culture. He is like a time capsule of my childhood.
And Congresswoman, as a co-chair of the campaign, there's criticism from some that, Vice President Harris is not doing enough interviews, that she's out there campaigning, but she's not taking part in interviews. I know she was willing to do another debate. Donald Trump refused so far.
Oh, yeah, you were right to bring that up. That is fascinating that you would say that she's not doing enough interviews and then follow that with the fact that he was the one that bailed out of a debate. I don't know why your follow-up wouldn't prevent that from being a line of questioning.
Time is running out. But she seems to falter in interviews. She did one with Stephanie Ruhle. She did one, of course, with Dana Bash. She did one with local Pittsburgh KDKA. That's 3 interviews in this entire campaign.
Okay, Andrea Mitchell is trying it. She is close. Should I go to the clip? No, okay, I'm gonna go to the clip yet. She's faltering in interviews. You mean like this?
I will very quickly deflate. We are going to take inflation and we are going to deflate it. On day one of the Trump Organization, when I founded it, it was nice, but now it's great. But I want to get back to the Trump administration because the Trump administration is going to do things. We will rebuild our cities, including our capital in Washington, D.C., which is a disgrace what they've let happen to it, with graffiti all over the beautiful Aurora. Talking about today is high on her list. The whole country is going to be like, you want to know the truth? It'll be like Detroit. Our whole country will end up being like Detroit if she's your president.
Are these the kind of falters that you're looking for? Even Vanderbilt didn't move the goalpost as much as the media is moving the goalpost when it comes to Donald Trump versus Kamala Harris and their interviews.
Yeah, honestly, I was one of those that said, I don't care if she does an interview at all. And I'm going to be honest with you. Listen, she is running a historic campaign in a historic amount of time.
And I would add that Donald Trump had been so woeful. This is the same man who the aforementioned Jasmine Crockett, when asked whether or not one of his operatives would rather he stay in the basement until election day, would say that would give them a much better chance to win. The man who they're actively trying to hide, and you want to say Kamala Harris is faltering in interviews. I think we need to check her wires.
And so when you're trying to figure out which one you should really take the time to do, I honestly am the type of person that believes in taking your message to the people. When we consistently hear things like, well, people say that they don't know her and that kind of stuff, I think that they actually want to interact with her. And I honestly think that that is actually where she is her strongest, when she's able to actually be there with the people, feel the energy of the people, and the people be able to feel her sincerity in the policy positions that she's taking and in her message of trust me, because I will take this country forward instead of allowing it to go back. So I think that this is just a very different election. And I think that she's doing the best that she can with the minimal amount of time that she's got left to get this done.
Well, she could certainly do more interviews, local interviews, network interviews, and those all get carried on television. It's the same as a rally. It's having the same impact in terms of reaching a lot of people.
Okay, so if you feel like it has the same impact and she's definitely doing the rallies, then what is your concern with the interviews? Because by virtue of your own justification, it has the same impact. So the only reason why you would want her to do interviews is because it was a sideways line of attack that came from the right wing. So the only justification, based on your own words, for you presenting that right now is that you are advancing their propaganda. Anything else?
That said, you're going to have surrogates. You've got, Liz Cheney. President Obama is going to start campaigning. Do you think we'll see Michelle Obama?
I think that there is a good chance that we may see Michelle. Now, this isn't any information that I've been given, so I don't want anyone to perceive that you're breaking news right now. But we are a big tent party and we've got a really big bench. And so I think that we are all hands on deck right now. And I think that's what you're seeing is there's surrogates from the House, surrogates from the Senate and beyond that are out there campaigning. And as you just mentioned, the former president is going to be out there. I think that we all know the force that the former first lady is.
Yeah. No, because Jasmine Crockett was talking about the bench. Yeah, I've been on the bench my whole life. Well, call me in. I'm game.
Definitely, if her schedule allows, I personally believe that she'll be out there as well, because we know that this election is going to come down to every single vote mattering, and it's going to be very, very tight.
Are you concerned about the firefighters union? That has been a key part of the Biden constituency, the Biden base, if you will, the labor movement base. Now that's the Teamsters, it's the firefighters. Is there something she can do to reassure the labor unions, working class people, men in particular, that she's got their back and that she knows their issues?
I got this one. Andrea Mitchell, are you concerned about the firefighters and the labor unions? Because it's a 50-50 election right now, and here is one of our nominees.
I mean, I think it would be great to just have a government efficiency commission that takes a look at these things and just ensures that the taxpayer money, the taxpayers' hard-earned money, is spent in a good way. And I'd be happy to help out on such a commission.
I'd love
if it were formed.
Well, you're the greatest cutter. I mean, I look at what you do. You walk in and you just say, "You want to quit?" They go on strike. I won't mention the name of the company, but they go on strike, and you say, "That's okay. You're all gone. You're all gone."
So I'm wondering if you are concerned about the firefighters and the labor unions, because I would be.
Yeah, because I haven't been in those rooms to understand what the disagreements have been about, it's hard for me to say what potentially the vice president could do to earn their support. I can say that she has a very strong record. You know, a lot of times when we're going through elections, we only have the promises that are put out there out front. But we know that this is someone who has stood with the PRO Act versus we know Donald Trump and the vast majority of his minions do not support the PRO Act. And so I think that she does have a record. I think that record is strong on unions in record fashion. We know that the teachers union came out almost immediately when the transition was made, and there have been so many other unions. I just can't really speak for what's going on with some of these other unions at this moment. I don't know what the disagreement it is, and so without me being able to assess what the underlying issue is, it's hard for me to say what she can do. But I can say that if you are a middle class working person, there's only one person in this race who has ever experienced that type of life. The other person was born and given $400 million and has never had to work to earn an honest penny a day of his life. We know that he got caught up for fraud in New York. We know that he had to file for bankruptcy 6 times. And so there is only one person who came from that middle class family and has worked her way up. And so if there's anybody you can trust in this fight, if there's only one team that's not talking about union busting, it's the blue team, the Harris-Walz team.
Let me translate that for you. It's clear where both of these two candidates stand when it comes to unions. Now, if some of those individuals in those unions want to act against their own best interests because they really like red hats, or it makes them feel superior to all the people that they pass on the street in their truck on their way into their union job, if they want to act against their own best interests, they are free to do so. However, it is clear exactly what their motivations are. You got it.
And quickly, let me just ask you about your home state of Texas. There is a hot Senate race. You're making gains on the Democratic side with Colin Allred against Ted Cruz. Just this week, the Cook Political Report moving that race from leaning Republican or likely Republican to leaning Republican. So that's some progress. This could be a key factor in control of the Senate. Is there any chance of a Senate victory in Texas?
I think that there's a chance. Here's the deal. We have been 47th for voter turnout in the country. And when we were 47th, guess what? Ted Cruz only won his re-election by 3 points. This is a guy that no one really likes. I mean, there's plenty of Republicans that dislike him. Definitely independents dislike him, as well as obviously Democrats dislike him. So it's just a matter of us deciding that we will show up and get to the polls. If we get to the polls, then it's game over for Ted Cruz. And it is definitely better days in the state of Texas. So I am encouraging everyone, regardless as to whether or not you think we can get this done or not, because I remember in 2008 that I didn't quite believe, but I hoped that we could elect Barack Obama. So even if you don't believe, let's go ahead and hope that Colin Allred can take out Ted Cruz and make sure that we show up to the polls and vote up and down the entire ballot. Because again, as you just mentioned, so long as we can get a Vice President Harris to become President Harris, she's going to need to govern. And governing starts with making sure that she's got a democratically controlled House as well as Senate.
That has always been baffling to me, that a state as prideful as Texas can feel good about itself being represented by Ted Cruz. Like, I really, that is just wild to me. And it's also notable to me that I haven't seen many of his colleagues come to his defense. So I think even they are like, you know what, if we lose a vote, it's fine. I don't want to sit by Ted at work no more. Like, if they not gonna give me a new cubicle, then just bring Colin in. I'm sick of it. Now, Andrea Mitchell, you tried it. I mean, you really tried it. Like, it makes me wonder where you've been this entire election cycle.
And well, we worked in the White House with him for all those years. Every expectation that, assuming everything goes well, in 5 days, we're going to see the president back running around the country again.
Yeah, I think so. And I think that...
Huh? I should go to... You know what she does? Your contempt for Kamala Harris is very clear. It makes me wonder exactly what the reason could possibly be.
I think they've got to double down on doing more interviews and serious interviews, because what I'm hearing from Democratic and Republican business people and a lot of men, and she's got such a big problem with men. I think there's an undercount of the Trump vote. I think there is misogynation in all of this, black and white men. Big problem, but also the business world. They don't think she is serious. They don't think she's a heavyweight. And a lot of this is gender, but she's got to be more specific about her economic plan.
This lady tapped into her childhood. She went back to the 1870s to talk about miscegenation, then corrected herself to make up a word of miscegenation, and then proceeded to act motivated by the aforementioned miscegenation. Because if you want to cite that is the thing that people are holding against you, then why is it that you're saying, well, if you do X, Y, and Z? No, the only thing she can do is become a man. Now I see why they be so obsessed with trans operations. Now, yeah, because that's the one thing they fear. They must be terrified of that.
They have a lot of different things happening with respect to transgender right now. You know that. I want to protect our country.
All right, so I am, for one, extremely proud that Jasmine Crockett was there to
Hey, you see what it is for Giotto Blow, man. Found the best rose in the game. Amber, you see who you voting for, Amber?
Donald Trump, baby, 2024.
Trump, show him that ring. MAGA, baby, Super Bowl.
I'm engaged to the game.
Hey, we're MAGA, Bill. Let's
MAGA,
go.
baby.
MAGA.
Come on, are you still around? I thought you got the message when you went crying to Candace Owens. We don't want it. Hey, Jasmine, can you handle this?
If you look at someone like Amber Rose, for example, right? She really pioneered like the slut walk that's, supposed to protect women be who they are, what they want to be, but is really writing for someone, the candidate who will
has
not
the sexual,
protect women.
Yeah, exactly.
So I just wonder, do they get paid for that, or is this something that,
some people, in my opinion, are doing stuff just to kind of become relevant. Yeah. Like, they're just like, who was talking about Amber Rose? Mm-hmm. Like, nobody had been talking about Amber Rose, and then all of a sudden she MAGA. Right.
True.
So now she is part of the conversation.
Yeah.
There are people that love to create the drama just so that they can be relevant, but my deal is there are real lives attached to this, so I don't need you looking for your relevancy or trying to clout chase. Like, if you are going to use your platform to educate people, then how about you do that? Do your own research before you get out here and you mislead people.
Thank you guys so much for watching the video. I very much appreciate the support. And as I mentioned previously, we got membership now. Yes, it was something that that you guys suggested, and a suggestion that I took and moved forward with. And it's something I'm really super excited about. That's going to give me the ability to give people early access to videos and ad-free experience, and also be able to record things on the go when I'm not necessarily in my perfect environment. I have something I just want to drop in real quick. I have the ability to do that. The ability to give you guys deep dive investigation pieces, some of the stuff that may not necessarily be topical, but stuff that deserves your attention. And of course, some of the uncensored content as well, because Lord knows the kind of stuff that I have to cut out of my videos can make pieces in and of themselves. Well, now I have the ability to do all of that. So sincere thank you to everybody that has joined the channel already. I can't wait to see where this goes.